Yo, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Hey,
What's up, Gutter?
I'm good, Chris. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I like that you're rocking your I always forget the name of it, but that shirt.
Coolmans.
Wait, what is it? Coolman's?
Coolmans, man. Yeah,
Coolman's.
Coolmans.
Is that
Yeah.
is that the same thing as Species or is that different?
Yeah, they're
It's
called
Coolman's project.
species.
Oh,
Yeah,
Species.
it's the
Okay.
same thing. It's Coolman universe, and these are species. This little weird
Yeah,
character
yeah.
things.
I like it, man. Well, I know you've already had a productive morning. I saw you tweeted that you already went and worked out early this
Oh
morning.
yeah. Oh yeah, I worked out today. I worked
Yeah.
out today. I don't know. I don't know why. It's just a random thing. I hope it keeps going on, but knowing me, it's like it's always temporary, man. At some point, I just start working out every day. Then I just fall off for like a year.
I feel
That's
that,
how
man.
it always works out. But hopefully, I could keep up. It's spring. The weather is nice out here on the East Coast, and I can't wait. I
Yeah,
can't
man.
wait, man.
I actually used to work out a lot, like back in high school, and every time I would get like a really good routine, like a couple months in, I would get really sick for like 2 weeks, and then by that 2 weeks, I would lose like muscle mass, and then by the time I got back, I would lose drive. So then I would just like not
Mm.
touch it for a couple months and try to get back, and now I just try to play disc golf to stay in shape.
Oh yeah, we found out last episode. Found
Yeah, yeah,
out you're a disc golf star over here, man. I
yeah,
didn't
man.
know. I had a celebrity in my midst, and I had no clue. Chris, man, what's going on? Disc golf?
Yeah, man. Gotta stay in
Gee,
shape
is that
somehow.
you? On your weekends, you're spinning it, you're whipping that disc.
That's me,
Is that
man.
what
That's
you do on
me.
your weekends? But today, Chris, we do have a special guest.
Yeah, we
Another
do.
special guest. This is V2. We tried this before. He's here this time. I
Yep.
promise. We got him in the house this time. You want to introduce him, Chris? I
Yeah,
gotta
man.
play my. We still
We
got sound effects in here.
we got Mitch from Metaverse HQ. Welcome, Mitch. How's it going today?
Hey, we got Mitch in the house.
Yeah,
Round
what's
of
going on, boys?
applause. A round of applause for Mitch.
Mitch already drinking, and it's like noon.
I know, right?
Yeah, gotta get the
What
caffeine.
are you?
Happy to be here, though. Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm sort of the same way when it comes to working out. I just got back to New York, so hopefully this will be my first of many days of working out. If not just the first and last. So we shall.
Yeah, that's how it is over here too, man. It's just hard, but the weather's starting to look nice, and we got some more events coming up soon. So can I gotta stay in shape now. It's weird, but I gotta get back into it. The world
I
is opening up again.
feel you, bro. I feel you. The DGen life is very. I was definitely working
Yeah.
out a lot more before NFTs. Put it that way. I don't know if there's a
Yeah, me
correlation.
too.
I'm not here to say. I'm not a doctor. I will say when you're like watching the market 24/7 and all you're thinking about is your bags, it's sort of hard to be in any other mental capacity, right? So it's important to stay
That's
healthy,
a
posture
fact.
check, stay hydrated, and most importantly, just like figure your own physical stuff out. The balance is really important, and I'm still finding that. I really still am trying to figure that out. That's no joke.
Yeah, it's real hard, especially when you're DJing. It's like we sit on the chair and watch the screen all day. We on Discord all day, on Twitter trying to find the next alpha. We try to make the next play. Hit that next home run, and it's just you don't really go outside, or the social life kind of takes a hit a little bit for me, anyways. Like
Oh, it does.
going to
Yeah.
events, going to the park. Man, just
Mm-hmm.
something that simple kind of goes away too. Like
Walking
you,
your
you
dog,
rarely
bro.
see outside.
Like
Yeah.
anything that used to be normal life, you could sort of push this side a little bit longer. It would just keep getting pushed. Um, Funny story. So I got into NFTs like more than a year ago, right? And I
Really?
really pressed the attack. I really hit the gas, no brakes back in August. And
Hmm.
a lot of my friends here in New York sort of had like a purview, a bird's eye view of what was happening to me. And it was hard to explain it, but I had a lot of friends just reach out and say, Mitch, like we know that you're in love with your JPEGs and like you're doing some like magic internet bean money type, like you're so focused and honed in and lasered, and that's amazing. Make sure that you are taking the time to focus on like your spiritual and your physical health, because when you're sitting in an office all day, again, like you said, staring at a screen, um, getting into sort of like bad habits. Maybe you're not eating right. Maybe you're just trying to get a quick fix because you want to keep eyes. There's a drop coming up. You don't want to leave the house, but you want to you want to order delivery, something like that. Like it was just getting to a point where it was noticeable that my health was going on a downtrend, but like my ETH stack was on an uptrend, right? So it
Yep,
was I
yep.
maintained this balance. And again, bro, like God, I'm still trying to find that balance. And it's been quite some time. And it's cool to see a lot of my friends sort of like hitting the gym again. Connor in particular, he's been making really sick art, and he's OG Metaverse HQ. He's been hitting the gym, getting out, like breath of fresh air, that sort of stuff. That's what we need. At least that's what I need, particularly.
Yeah.
Me too. Me
No
too.
joke.
Like, so you say you got into NFTs a year ago. Like, are you one of those NBA Top Shots storyline, or you took a different turn?
Yes, that is me, bro. I'm rugged by Top Shot, and Dapper Labs, good old Roham, got us. Um, that story is, I mean, that's a story that I'm assuming we all share. Did you guys also get into NFTs through Top Shot?
Nah. Well, I got interested in NFTs after the Top Shot kind of
Mm,
died.
I got introduced through VV, which was like around that same
yeah,
era. VV
yep.
was like right after Top Shot.
Yeah, so VV is sort of the Top Shot was the indicator to how VV would end up being, right? So all the same trials and tribulations of the consumers on like an app that's able to dish out NFTs left and right. You're not able to cash out. There's a lot of people
Not at all.
that quote unquote pyramid, if you will, the second that cashing out is available. And sort of, if anyone in VV were to take a look at what happened at Top Shot, and you guys, this is like a really clear indicator too, right? I'm sure you guys have talked to a lot of people that were burned by Top Shot or like really invested in Top Shot.
Yeah.
The problem with Top Shot was that they weren't interested in preserving the rarity
Yeah.
and the scarcity of their NFTs. They were just focused on selling packs, selling direct to the player. They didn't really incentivize like secondary marketplace like trading. They knew they would make the most money and the least amount of overhead just selling packs directly to consumer. And they sold as much of them as they fucking could. And they over diluted the supply and did not have a real keen eye on where the demand was. And all of our, quote unquote, rare NFTs, scarcity, when you pull that out of the rug, when you pull that out, that's the rug underneath you. That's every value of your NFT period. Not to mention you couldn't even pull out and withdraw money. So anyone in VV, just know when you have the ability to withdraw, what are people going to do? They're going to withdraw. It's the same thing with GameStop, right? When Robinhood doesn't allow people to buy, you can only withdraw. What are people going to do? So put two and two together for my VV users out there.
So Vivi is a Ponzi. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Chris
you
doesn't
said
want
it
to
not.
hear this.
You said
Chris
it not.
doesn't want to hear it. I make fun of Chris like off air.
Yeah,
I make
man.
fun of him every single day about Vivi because I got into NFT through Vivi as well. I started like making videos about Vivi until I kind of discovered the other side of NFTs. You know, the OpenSea side. Then I never went back because I could get my money right back. Is that liquidity in Vivi just what stops me from reinvesting into Vivi because I can't get my money out of there unless you go through the underground. Like Chris,
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how to get your money out.
Yeah, I went
But
through the underground a few times. The hope is, and we don't have to stick on this, is that, Vivi was one of the first partnerships with Immutable X, which is like a layer 2 solution to Ethereum. It's like it's lower gas fees. The problem was they still to this day, Immutable X has been out for like 8 months. They still don't really have their assets on there. So like once they're able to pull the assets off the VV app into Immutable X, that's when hopefully, you can sell for ETH or USDC or whatever, but that's the hope for it. And they're also offering like an Omi to NFT.
just hope.
But yeah, I won't stay on that. But I am
I
actually still
think that's
involved
a
with
good.
VV.
I think that's a good topic though, right? Because this is NFTs can live on any. like ecosystem, blockchain, and VV is a gated ecosystem like entirely. We can't trade them on
Yes.
OpenSea, on X2Y2, on LooksRare. VV's not even on. It's not even technically on a blockchain, right? They announced that they
Or
would
on
integrate.
Omi.
They did, right? And Immutable, for those of you that don't know, has like Guild of Guardians. Immutable also has Gods and Chain, I believe,
Gods and
and
Chain, yeah.
a handful of other like projects. But
Book games. I mean, that's a big one.
what's that?
Book games,
Gary
Gary
V.
V.
Book
That's
game,
where, yeah.
exactly. So there are use cases on Immutable. It's just that VV is not integrated onto like that specific blockchain yet, so you can't trade those NFTs. And also with NBA Top Shot, that's on the Flow blockchain, but you can't take those NFTs on NBA Top Shot and go sell them on a different Flow marketplace like you could with any NFT that's built on the Ethereum blockchain, right? So these are like gated NFT ecosystems where it's like they call it NFTs, but is it really, right? Like, can we really do we have flexibility
Not
in
even
terms of
that.
marketplaces? Do we have accessibility outside of that ecosystem? No, we don't. We really don't. So that's something to think about if you're collecting NFTs is like, who's holding your NFTs, right? Who's really in charge of your bags? Think about that.
Yeah,
For
Chris.
sure.
Who's in charge of your bags, Chris?
Chris, who's
Huh?
watching your bags right now, Chris? He is.
Huh?
I'm watching him, bro. I'm watching him.
All right, let's
Oh,
let's
man.
move on back into Ethereum now. You guys have been making a lot of plays recently, and Chris has a lot of questions for you, Mitch. A
I do,
lot of
man.
questions.
Bro, I don't know. Here, let me see if I have the video. I forgot to pull it up. But Mitch, I follow you on Ninjalerts, and I'm like looking at my Ninjalerts the other day, and I just see you like scoop an insane amount of this Quacky Ducks official. I see Mitch popping up for a solid like 20 minutes on this, and yeah, man, I'm sure some of it's private, but what's the alpha on that? What do you like about what is it about the Quacky Ducks official
About the
that was
You
duck.
just
bought
like
hundreds of them, Mitch. Hundreds.
Swag. No, I actually I think Metaverse HQ owns like half the supply. I think
yeah, I
we
saw
got
all of
really
you
high on the
guys.
ducks. The Quacky Ducks is an interesting story. I wasn't there for when it minted out, but apparently they were like on sale for a good amount of time. And then they lowered the price because it just wasn't selling out, and eventually sold out. I think they must have sold out at like a ridiculously low price, maybe 0.01. I'm not really sure, but my entry point on secondary was around 0.018, 0.019. The reason that I made that play, other than for the culture, like everyone in Metaverse HQ was like just quacking it up and just like changing the PFPs, and I was like, I don't want to. It's low entry point, and yeah, I was scooping a handful of them. I was on NFT Nerds, which is like a really fantastic tool to buy like listings. You don't have to go on OpenSea and like hit refresh and like click and buy the floor, and like that takes forever. Tool like NFT Nerds allows you to basically see, what does the price resistance look like at a certain floor, and based off of the sales over the last 5-10 minutes, do you think that floor is going to be eaten regardless of what you do? And so for me, the answer was yes, right? Like the floor of Quacky Ducks right now is like 0.06, but back then it was like
Yeah.
0.018, 0.017, breaking 0.02, and that's what I saw, Chris. So that gave me conviction to buy as many as like I could, but like also I was chilling. Like if I really want to go in, I could go in. This was just like a classic. I don't want to miss out on the culture. And so I'm just
I
holding them.
like
I'll
it.
hold them. I know it's a terrible thing to say, but like I was ready for these things to go to zero. Like I didn't, at that point, it's
Really?
incredibly low risk if you're buying at 0.018. So that was my play. And I like to make those kinds of plays. I like to make like high upside, incredibly risky plays for low like entry points. And that just happened to be like an incredibly low entry point. Same thing with the Remember Me's. I hope I don't get smoked by scooping them up, but I'm like a top holder of Remember Me, which was a free mint yesterday.
Oh yeah, I think I saw
Yeah, I
that
saw
too.
that one as well.
I mean,
Yeah.
It was doing well when I saw it.
You're also up 3x on your Quacky Ducks already. So I mean, it's already You can
You bought a lot of
you
quacky
you
ducks.
can dump on your fellow Verse HQ members that bought it 0.05 and 0.06.
No, at this point, we are. I'm actually. I want to moonshot this thing. I'm a big like duck believer, right? So, in the entire like, I don't know, sort of like timeline of NFTs, there's been a handful of duck projects. Obviously, Sup Ducks
Mhm.
is like an OG one that we all
Sub dog.
remember. There's Rubber Duck Bath Party, who we partnered with once upon a
Yeah.
time. There is Indifferent Ducks, which we all
Yeah.
minted at Meditation too. I love those. I still love my Different
Those
Ducks.
are down though. Those are
Don't
down
shut them up.
down.
Yeah, I was quite the pimp. And then now Quacky Ducks. So ducks have a
Yeah.
special place in my heart, especially when it comes to NFTs. So I want in on that kind of action. But I will tell you, I'll be honest, Chris. When I was like, I don't know if you were watching me last week, but I scooped like 30 like Astro Boys.
Astro Boys.
Yeah, like
I did
way
watch
too
you. We
many
watched you
boys.
live. We were on
Really?
this show. We were on this show,
Yeah.
and I was like, "What is he doing with these Astro NFTs? This project dropped a month ago, and the price is declining, and Mitch is just going ham."
Yeah, we saw that.
The alpha there was you get a Hikari whitelist
Mhm.
if you
Mm.
were to buy one and burn it. So that was the play there. But I'll let you know, like I only got 2 out, and you know, if you do the cost analysis, I lost roughly like 2.4 ETH on that play, right? But again, it's perspective. It's like, what stack are you working with? Is 2.4 ETH 50% of your liquid, or is it like less than 1% of like what you're holding and what you can play around with, right? It's all relativity in the space.
Yeah.
And when you have a bigger
Mhm.
stack, you could sort of like casually make plays like this, where you're maybe instead of like being antsy to spend 0.5, like you can now feel comfortable spending 10 ETH. And that's really that's what I want to talk about too, is the progression of how you play with what you've got. It's almost like poker in a sense. I hate to bring poker up, but like you need to know your shot to take your all ins. And for me, investing 3 ETH on something like a play like Astro Boys, or I don't know even what I bought, to get a whitelist for Hikari, where like I knew Hikari would be a positive EV play if I can get all those out. You know, that's a shot I'm willing to take. And I will let you
Yeah.
know also, the week before that, I had minted 90 WoW Galaxies and I minted like 6 imposters. So for
90?
me, I'm taking a scope of, am I up this month, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is my timeline? Like, I might not be up today or yesterday or tomorrow or like the week, but my plays over the month have like accumulated X amount in Ethereum. That's the way that I think. I usually like to think in like week. Now more specifically, in weeks, in months, with some of these like long-term investments.
No, man, I feel it.
So
I'm so I'm not new to the space at all. Like, I mean, I've been here for like over a year. But as far as my bigger wins, going back to our earlier conversation, have been on VV. So like I have liquidity on there to make completely degen plays and not care. You know, like I have more to go with. As far as my ETH goes, like I can't afford to spend 3 ETH on that risk. So it's weird transitioning, or not even transitioning. It's weird being both, because like I think one way on VV and I think a different way on, like, let's say like OpenSea, because like I only have it matters if I lose on OpenSea, because it's like, all right, well, that's my liquid that I have to work with right now until I get, you know, a couple more returns. So yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it depends on what you're working with.
yeah, so basically he's saying 3 ETH is bubblegum money, pretty much. That's air horn for that. He got bubblegum money and it's 3 Ethereums. That's pretty nice,
Well,
man.
all money that you put into the market should be money that you're willing to lose, right? Like that's something that,
Facts.
like, that's not money that is going to go to like putting a roof over my head, in this case a scarf, or like going to family that needs it, right? Like this is like internet money at this point. I do like this question though. He goes, Dickenza's goes, what's a good bankroll to jump into this space with? Whitelist grinding, free mint seems like a lot of effort for potentially no returns. So this is a really great conversation to have, right? Are you guys familiar with like whole whitelist grind meta? and
Oh
how he
yeah, yeah. Chris loves to do every little thing he could do. He was
Yeah, bro.
twerking the other day for
I,
whitelist.
I did squats for a whitelist 2 weeks ago.
yeah.
He was
Okay,
on
good. So
OnlyFans
you are literally drumming
gyrating
up
for a
and down.
whitelist.
Exactly. Like you have a whitelist, you're grinding whitelist. Someone says how high, that's sort of like where we're at. That didn't always used to be the case. So that's a really great question. I want to give an emphasis on the timeline of like why this question is relevant and contextual. Why what I'm about to say is contextual. So Metaverse HQ, and by the way, I'm terrible at introducing this, but Metaverse HQ is an incredible community of NFT like enthusiasts. You can consider us an alpha group. Back in July, 9 months ago, we did not. Right, Jake and Bake, our founder, had the vision to gate Discord with an NFT and a Discord of insane NFT enthusiasts. And lo and behold, nowadays, like everyone's got an alpha group, right? So that's a standard common practice. We are constantly trying to innovate, and we have been innovating since July, and our members more specifically have been innovating. So now we have this like insane whitelist meta, but before we didn't. And the reason that this whitelist meta happened, I don't know if y'all remember the sevens, but
Yeah, I do.
Oh yeah.
That was the
good.
first really annoying whitelist for me. Like that was the first one that was like, I don't know if I feel like grinding for this.
What about you, Gutter? Do you remember the sevens?
Oh yeah, I faded sevens. All that anime shit wasn't. It just I
It
wasn't feeling
wasn't
the
popping.
PFP.
Yeah, well, the sevens I knew would be clutch. It would be hype because you had Oni one like hitting like a 5e floor, and like that was
Yeah,
insane,
that
right? That was
was
Logan
yeah.
Paul was good old Logan Paul was top signal there. You had
Yeah.
you had the sevens where there was this like idea of like I don't know like a pre-sale, and we were all able to see what's beautiful with a pre-sale is that there's usually like a pre-sale and then a public sale, right? So the pre-sale you're able to see what like the market value, the customer resistance point is for a project before it goes public. That's like a rare thing. That was a rare thing at the time. Now it's like you always have that, but back then before the sevens, which was like I think around August. I think it was in August. Um, Everyone was just going straight to public sale. You knew what time you had to be ready, and that's it. There's no like grinding for whitelists. The sevens was an interesting use case because during the sevens drop, everyone was, at least from my end of the spectrum, I was really excited. My friends and I, we finally got the alpha that buying Eden and staking Eden, which is an ERC20, would give you access to Eden miners that can get you on the block before anyone on Ethereum. Like that was just
What
going
the
mainnet.
hell is?
Wow, I
Yeah.
didn't know that until this day.
Well, that's
Yeah,
Right now.
that's
that's some
deep.
of the alpha, right? So like in
Yeah, it's
Metaverse
alpha.
HQ, there were a couple members that just kept absolutely fucking cooking, and we were like, how are they doing this, right? So
That's nuts.
eventually, we caught on, and the sevens we were all ready. Like we we were just like antsy. It was me. It was like me, Sneaky, Saint, a handful of others, part of like the Sniff crew, and uh, what we did was, we were just watching this thing. I remember it was like, I think the drop was around 2 p.m. So we had all of our Eden stake ready to fire. And we did what's called transaction blocking. So are you guys familiar with queuing up transactions?
I'm not, no.
Well,
Okay. So
I
we're
thought
going
you
to
just sign contracts and just queue them all. Is that what you mean, or is it's a
Exactly. So
different thing?
this was a technique. So let's just say there's a public sale. You have, and this is the sevens, right? So public sale, it was 0.069 to mint, 2 per transaction, no max per wallet. Public
Yeah,
sale.
I remember that.
So what we did was we had Eden staked, and then we had the contract of the sevens, and through the contract, what you could do is you can actually put transactions in ahead of time. So like queuing up transactions allows you to queue up a multitude of transactions. So you're not hitting like mint confirm when the public sale happens. You actually do all that beforehand. And so I lined up enough ETH to mint like, I don't know, 20 of these things. That was a lot of ETH at the time. So my bankroll was incredibly small, but like compared to where it is now. And so I was like really nervous. And we get this contract, we queue up transactions, right? 2 minutes per transaction, boom, boom, boom. So we have 14. I like a handful lined up. And what you do is you block the first transaction. And by blocking the first transaction, you put the gas incredibly low, right? So if gas, for instance, for any transactions, like right now, if I were to check, gas is around 62. I would put the gas to like 10 because I'll know that transaction will never go through, period, right? If the public sale isn't open, that transaction will fail anyways. So you block it at 10. Then you set every transaction behind it to be like the gas that you want it to be when the public sale hits. So for us, we were setting gas to like, I don't know, ridiculous amount, like 6,000, something like 6,000 GUI, right? Like that's how much we're willing to pay. In fact, that's how much we want to pay. So block the first one, boom, boom, boom. All the transactions are ready to go. The second the public sale switches, right, the state is now active. You actually just have the gas setting of the first one changed to like what all the ones are. And all the
Wow.
transactions smack
Damn,
dab just
dude.
go through at once on the same fucking block. And you've come out like a ninja. And that's exactly what 999 did. So 999 like my little like group, right, of cooks, we're just like waiting, anticipating. We had the transactions lined up. We thought we were going in. 999, who was a member of Metaverse HQ, we had no idea at the time. This was like his first like claim to fame, if you will, in the NFT space. He goes and mints like 1,500 sevens, and he uses
I remember that.
he uses this technique. He and like a couple of others pooled millions and millions of dollars worth of Eden to stake Eden and be the number one Eden staker to then go ahead and mint 1,500 just to prove a motherfucking point. And he gave 1,000 of them back. He actually gave like 1,000 back to the sevens. The sevens had a lot of people had like gas errors and shit. So the sevens airdropped a lot of people and tried to make it right. I was one of those people, by the way. I got smacked. That's the first time I ever did queue block transactions and blocking those transactions and creating a queue of them. And I lost like an ETH in gas. So by the way, it's like if you want to like go ham and if you want to get after it, you increase your complexity and risk to the project. That like strategy is not always foolproof, is what I'm saying. But that basically paved the way after the sevens and after 999 did that to prove a point that people can do that people can like front run you in that way, like big whales. Then the entire industry shifted to this like whitelist meta that we see today. And where the whitelist meta is evolving, it's sort of like putting the gates on people, right? Much like the traditional art scene where you can't buy a physical piece of art. You have to know someone that knows somebody, and like to get in with a really good artist, you have to have like a credibility. There's a gate, right? Whitelist meta now is a gate. It's early
That makes
access
sense.
for partners, for friends. And I'm not necessarily saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm simply trying to give context into how we even got here, because it used to be, y'all remember, maybe not you, Chris, but Goddard, you specifically remember that like it used to just be public sale drops. You try to get in there, and hopefully it rips after it sells out. Nowadays, this new meta that we're coming into, whitelist grinding for free mints, not good ROI. However, paying someone to whitelist grind for you, that's probably a better return on investment for your time, and you could probably get someone to do that for much cheaper than how much you would do it for.
And that's crazy. I remember the sevens drop pretty clearly because that was like kind of one of my first drops I wanted to go for. And I remember for the whitelist on that, it was the most complicated one at that time because every other whitelist I got on before that was kind of just like invite 5 or 10 people to our Discord and you automatically get the whitelist. But this one was like, we want you to do that, and then we want you to hang out in Discord, and then you're going to randomly be selected if you're helpful in Discord over the next 3 days. And I remember I was like pretty active in that Discord and I never got selected. So I got kind of burnt by it. But I remember seeing that. I remember seeing exactly what you're talking about without knowing the details of it. And was like, oh well, missed opportunity.
There's a meta right now where like the counter to this meta is, again, deploying like people to do this, to grind for you in your name, in your stead, right? I think if you are an NFT trader, like a full-time degen, Don't rely on the people, like play in your frame, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean, when you're grinding, Chris, right, for that whitelist in that Discord server, you're dependent on someone that is like higher up in that server, whether it be a mod or an admin, to give you that whitelist, right? And that's how you like putting food on the
Mhm.
table. It's like if you're a degen and is that really playing in your frame, right? If you understand the market, if you can move independently and understand market trends, be able to make an analysis, make a play, and not be in, and basically put all the emphasis and impetus of you to make like your ETH on your own. I think you'll be much better off for it. And I think a lot of traders in the space too, like Dekenza, again, that was a great question, right? How do you enter the space? I think you should enter the space by learning the market, learning projects, building context until you can finally build conviction into making a play that makes sense for you. But like grinding for whitelist spots, it's a really tough game, and you're playing a game that a lot of like it's not worth your money. I don't think it's worth like your time. The return on investment is very minimal, and I think if you're working smarter, not harder, you would pay a team of people to do that for you.
Yeah, man.
So I've
Just
been trying to
last
tell
last
Chris,
oh,
man.
well, just last
That's what I've been
week,
trying to
uh,
tell him. He's been
as
twerking on camera all day for whitelist,
nah,
man. You can't
I, d-
stop.
I don't really work that hard for whitelist, honestly. Last week I did do squats for whitelist though. Um,
Yeah,
that
real
that that was just
squats.
for that was
Smarter than
fun
any
though.
whitelist I've ever worked for. So
We didn't all have a metaverse HQ to find early. We have it now though. I remember just last week, Star Wolves, I don't know, it was V2 or whatever. JJ bought one, minted, and I was in the Discord for that whitelist, and you had to level up and write lores
Oh,
to get that whitelist, and it was like long stuff, dude. Like it was like I think it was over like 10 hours of that it would take you. It was something like that to be able to get this whitelist because you'd have to level up, write the lore, get it approved, write another lore, and kind of go through until you reach a certain level before you actually get it. And they ended up minting, I don't remember the exact price, but for like 0.09, I think. And they're already 0.06. I don't think they ever crossed 0.1. And I was like,
nah, they
dude,
didn't.
people just
it's
spent so
unfortunate.
long on that grind and they just lost money if they minted for it. Like that's tough.
It's tough to say what will rip really because we had a partnership with Star Wolves in particular, and they the team was great. It was really hard to get whitelisted in their Discord, which makes me bullish, right? They're not just like, "Welcome to Discord, you get whitelisted," right? It's like incredibly hard and tedious, and like you sort of learn a lot about like the community and like the vision at least through doing that. What you were doing, like building lore and stuff. You build emotional buy-in as well, which is really good. The problem is sometimes you just like get the timing wrong in the market. Sometimes the value prop isn't communicated clearly enough, or sometimes it just needs time, right? So, like, Just Cubes is a great example. Just Cubes only minted out 2 days ago, and they've been on the market for like 2 weeks prior, right? But they didn't sell right away in the public sale. But what they did was they took the funds from the pre-sale and the public um, before they had minted out and made a massive marketing push with those funds to get the rest sold. And then the floor price became like 3x what the mint was. So sometimes it just takes time. I've never seen a use case like that. But again, you never really know what's going to hit. You have to just have your conviction. Something might look like we like to say, well, at least I like to say, if it looks like a cook, if it smells like a cook, it probably is a cook. Still, I put the word probably in there because you really never know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so this is one on the next stages after you've gotten whitelisted in whatever NFC it is. How do you get the conviction to actually buy? Like, what do you look for in secondaries or in mints before you actually execute that allowless spot to go mint whatever NFT that is? Because
Yes,
I
I
know
mean,
there's a lot of them, and there's a lot
yeah,
of you get whitelisted for everything. You don't mint everything though.
that's the thing. You can never really know for sure, right? So one of the biggest plays that I've ever made was Superlative Secret Society, and I I min- I minted because, and I was like one of the first to mint because, well, I had pre-sale access, and a lot of times when you have pre-sale, what you want to do, what's the smart thing to do, is mint, and then you see, well, not mint, and then you see like other people mint, and you see how the secondary market on OpenSea, on Looks, whatever, response to that project. A great example more recently is like Hikari, right? Hikari is a great example where Hikari went public first, a Dutch auction, and we
Hmm.
saw that Hikari sold out at 0.3 under a minute. So the price resistance, the floor price was like hitting 0.48, 0.5. So me as someone that like has a pre-sale or a whitelisted Hikari, uh, that's positive EV play if I mint at 0.08, right? So it really just depends on the project because Hikari was an interesting use case where you have the public sale and then you have the pre-sale after, sort of
The
like what Azuki
Kuwami.
did. WoW Galaxy did the same thing, right? They had
Mm.
the Dutch auction, public sale, and then they had the whitelist mints for WoW Galaxy afterwards. So you're able to sense, hey, if I did get a whitelist, is it positive EV? Is positive EV meaning is it going to be like positive estimated value? If I mint this at 0.08, will it retain value right away? Is the resale value higher? In both instances, yes, right? So having the pre-sale, the whitelist to any project is an incredibly like advantageous position to be in because you can either front run the market, and front run meaning like you could be the first to mint and be the one that does be the lister that like during the price discovery phase where people don't really know what the price of this thing is, so they might be inclined to overpay for something, if that something is what you're listing. And then B, you're also able to get a sense of like not a hedge, but more so know ahead of time if it is a positive EV play for you to mint that whitelist. So just having the whitelist is OP. It's really incredibly overpowered. And again, it's like, but that's like a boring game in my opinion. Like minting 90 WoW Gs in a Dutch auction, it like makes me feel more alive than like anything in the world. I love public sales. I love because no one could take that away from you, right? No one could say, no one could be like, oh, like with whitelistments, it's like, oh, you got whitelisted. Like that's that's like the plebes game, in my opinion, right? That's like the influencers get whitelisted. Obviously, we at Metaverse HQ we get a lot of partnerships, so we're getting whitelisted as well. But like, no one could take away a public mint from you. What you do in the public sale, like with real degens, like shoulder to shoulder, like that really speaks a lot of volume for how you are as a trader, and multiplies your bankroll. So I don't know.
But
It's risky.
usually
This meta
you
is
need a
fun.
lot of ETH to win that game, though.
You do. You need a lot of you do need a lot of ETH. I wouldn't be able to do this like back in August or September, but again, it's about progression of your stack. And Chris, that's why you need to get your your liquid out of Vivi, right? That's like a closed ecosystem. You need to get that liquid on the ETH blockchain or like a blockchain period,
Yes.
and like start cooking.
Right? So when things are like, let's say the traditional whitelist or allow list goes first, then public goes second. Like if allow list, let's say, is minting for point oh eight, right? And in secondary, people are buying for 0.12. Is that, would you buy in? Would you mint at that difference, or do you wait till public?
I would mint at that difference. I mean, that's positive EV, right? Minting at 0.08, but the
Hmm.
floor price is 0.12 on secondary. I think a great example is Quirkies, where you you don't really know if a project is going to slap. I think the Quirkies floor last I checked was over 2 ETH, right? But Quirkies, uh, they slid under the radar. They minted back in, I want to say like late Feb, maybe early March. Uh, it went pre-sale first and then public sale. And pre-sale mint was 0.05 and the floor price was like 0.06, right? And it stayed that way, right? Now it's a 2 ETH collection on floor price, but pre-sale, the price resistance was 0.06. So if you're coming in at the public sale, like, and there's like 2,500 of these left, you're thinking to yourself, which is I think half the supply, you're thinking to yourself like, why should I mint this, right? And if you had a look, that's when conviction comes into play. If you know anything about the project that makes you feel convicted, you should absolutely make a play on that. And so for Quirkies, we had a partnership with Quirkies. They gave Metaverse HQ 100 whitelist spots, allow list
Oof.
spots, sorry. And we were incredibly grateful for that. Um, that being said, I'm sure a lot of the winners like dumped, like right at point. I was like, they're like, oh, this isn't a project worth holding. That was a mistake because when we had met with the Quirkies team, what we like to do with every single one of our partners is have a meeting, right? Do a face-to-face. If they're not sharing the screen, that's fine, but just sort of like getting a understanding of like the team, the vision, and like, again, just having this interaction, this human interaction as opposed to just Discord typing and DMs and negotiating. Like, this is what made me bullish on Quirkies. And then I saw the art and I was like, wait, this is going to rip and slap. So I was yelling at people, I remember, to mint Quirkies. I was like, guys, this is a public sale you don't want to miss. And people I was in the room with, I was yelling at. People I was on Discord with, I was yelling at, like, we should make Quirkies. And I went and minted 20 of them. So, yeah, no one else minted with me. And that's because, again, I had conviction. So you play in your own frame. I wouldn't do what everyone else is doing. To be able to build your own frame, you just have to have context. To have context, you need to just understand what's happening in the space, understand the market, have a good sense of what will be good. You have to know what has been good, what has been shit, and all the things that come with that. I know it's like an ambiguous term, or I'm like speaking ambiguously, but I'm trying to give very specific examples to how like seemingly under the radar projects become absolute wins. And if you're in the market today, just like the status of the market, it's very different than the status that used to be back then.
Your title, MVHQ Head of Partnerships, is that like, are you the one that connects with these different projects and is like, hey, we'd like to work with you? Like, are you the one that like almost like collects those whitelist spots for your the MVHQ members, or what does your title entail for you?
So that's a great question. We have a team of reps that I built on my team that essentially we source projects early. We try to find really hype projects, but early on. I think we found Hikari when they were under 5K followers. Jeez, the main artist, had just opened up his Discord, right? Like now they're like over 150,000 followers on Twitter. Our job as a team is to find them, procure them, source them, vet them. We call that suss, right? Suss them out. Do they have really good engagement on Twitter? Do they have great engagement, organic engagement on Discord? Are people boosting the server? Are people getting whitelists easy? Like, who's on the team? Do they have clout? Like, all the stuff that we look at, we have a process put in place. So, at that point in time, our reps go out, they go and reach out to these projects, loop my team into DMs, which my team consists of Jacob Meyer, my marketing lead. We've got Meg Thorpe as well as our engagement manager. We have a handful of other additions that I don't want to tease, that I don't want to like give out fully yet, but we're onboarding. But it takes a village, right? We have a massive team. So at this point, it just makes my job easy. I hop on the call and, we just shoot the shit. And we just talk about how we can partner and collaborate. And a lot of the times it's not just, hey, we'll give you allow spots for like a tweet or something. A lot of times like, hey, come into our office hours, give our members a glimpse of what your vision is. We'll host you for Twitter Spaces. Hey, like maybe we'll do co-branding, Metaverse HQ trait in your collection. There's a lot of things we could do and get creative with. But again, it's like that, sort of chef's kiss where it's very easy. And I think it's just like the state of the space is very easy to set the bar a little bit higher. But like if you're coming from the Web 2 space, which like I was predominantly like a solutions engineer for most of my professional career, where a lot of this is like client facing, I just know how to be. And that is that's advantageous to building partnerships and relationships in this space today. So that's what I do. Any partnership related to allow lists for the community, any partnership related to group buying, like Ninjalerts, for instance, was a group buy. NFT Nerds was a group buy. Moby, we had it set up as well. Like really anything that all flows through partnerships and then gets divvied out to who that needs to get divvied out to.
What do you mean
Awesome.
group buy? What does that mean?
A group buy is essentially saying you have X amount of people that want to like purchase this tool, like subscription to NFT Nerds for a year, or in this case, Ninjalerts for a lifetime pass. We get that negotiated down to a cheaper rate because we have a lot of people from our community.
Oh, okay.
So, we have like certain discounts with Moby, with NFT Nerds. And yeah, we were in on the Ninjalerts mint. And that's essentially a group buy. It's
You
you
basically
just
get a
have a lot
wholesale
of
price. You get a wholesale price or a bulk price. That makes sense.
yeah,
That's cool.
exactly.
So, what's going on with Azukis, man? They're not doing so well right now. And are you bullish on Azukis? Because that's your PFP right now, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty notorious for like hating on blue chips. I think there's more upside elsewhere, right? That being
Yeah.
said, Azuki's probably the only PFP that like I don't know, spoke to me that I felt represented, and so I bought it. I bought them. I was buying them under 9 or like around that
Mm.
under 10, and yeah, all things considered, Azuki, it was like 15 ETH before I went to LA, and it's now holding a steady floor above 20. Plus, every Azuki holder got airdrop 2 of those beans that are worth like an estimated value of 5 ETH.
Yeah.
Right. So if you
Yeah.
think about it, like in the span of time of like less than 2-3 weeks, Azuki holders have now received over 15 ETH worth of value. Right. We're up hella.
Yes.
So again, I think in terms of, especially with this type of investment, I'm thinking in terms of months, right? I'm not thinking in terms of weeks. I'm not thinking in terms of days. With other investments, maybe like the Quacky Ducks, I'm thinking in terms of days. I'm thinking like, what the fuck is this price like?
I love that.
Like Azuki's are
What's your
not
exit price on that? On
on
the
Quacky
ducks?
Ducks.
Because Griff said 0.1 is at least.
Grape said that.
Griff.
Oh,
Griffin.
Griff said that.
Grifton?
Yeah, Griff
Yeah.
said that. He's a Quacky Duck Maxi. I don't know. I can't.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
too
want to give my
far.
entry point. I don't want to give my entry point or my exit point out here. I'm gonna get front run.
I'll see it soon. I'll see it on my feed tonight.
But Azuki again, it's like if you think about in terms of a month, like if you bought a month ago, you are fucking caking, right? You're good. There's always gonna be a pullback,
Yeah.
like there was with apes. There was an intense amount of pullbacks with apes before they continued to moon, and hit like the 100 ETH floor. And Azuki, it for me is it just got that vibe that speaks to me more than an ape does. That's why I sold my ape for 1.6 ETH eyes forward, and
1.6.
that's
Oh
why
man.
I see this investment as being a long-term investment.
So is Azuki gonna flip the apes in your opinion?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Oh, that's not a no, huh?
Yeah, anything's
So
possible.
we are telling definitely the like half end of the show or a little bit past that. Do you guys want to look at a project together? We usually just go through the Ninja Alert trends and pick a project, and Mitch, you can kind of give us your feedback on said project. Does that sound
Let's
good?
do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Is there any alpha from MVHQ? Like what are you guys looking forward to right now? Anything you could give out to the public that don't have a pass?
Well, we did have our eyes on the Mega Kongs. Those minted at
Megacongs.
8 a.m. Eastern, and there were only like 580 of them left. So I'm not sure how many went for that, but that floor was nuts. That was like a 0.05 mint, and the floor was like 0.55. So it's like an absolute cook.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Megacongs.
What is it called? Yeah, Mega something. Hold on.
Nice. So can you guys just not do your jobs for a little bit so the passes go down just a little? You feel me? So some of us can hop on into MVHQ, you know?
Dude, I'd love
Uh,
to have you guys there, bro. God, I mean, I've seen you since. I know we've seen each other around in Discord quite some time, so like this is dope that like we're actually able to kick it. But yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be really sick to
yeah,
have.
Need to convince
yeah.
Trevor
Happy
to
to talk to
do
you.
a group buy for us, Gutter.
Right? A group of three.
Group of 3. Now, Trevor's been a member of. Trevor's been in Metaverse HQ for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, Trevor's an
Yeah,
OG.
he's been.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
entry point right now is we got a question. The entry point right now is just our NFT on OpenSea. There will be a 2023 pass. It will be everyone that is holding a pass now will be able to mint the 2023 pass, and again, that's just like a re-entry into. It's almost like a subscription-based model that helps the business sustain itself. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Would there be more passes, or is it just gonna be 1-to-1 with what you already have?
we we have not like we will come public with that information.
Okay,
Yeah,
respectable.
I,
Fair. That was
I wish
that
I
was
could
my
share
question
more
too.
here. I can't.
Yeah. No, fair. Because I was thinking if it's a 1-to-1, which I mean, you guys, I know I've thought about this a lot, but it's like, oh, will the users now just mint this new one and transition? I don't know, or I guess there will be. Sorry, my air just cut on. I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited to hear more details about that though, for sure. Especially as somebody
And
who's interested. I've been looking for a alpha group for a while. Like you can ask Gutter. Every time we talk about ETH, I'm just like, man, I'm trying to find a good alpha group. And yeah, I've been looking at Metaverse HQ for over. This isn't long, but I've been looking at it for over a month. So, but yeah, that's exciting.
we're waiting for a downturn, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, Mitch.
Yeah,
We're waiting
I
for a
told
bear market so we could
I told
scoop some
Jacob
at
to stop marketing.
1.7. You know.
I told Jacob to stop marketing yesterday. If you can just stop
Put the
marketing for like a
sound
couple
yeah,
months.
that's good advice.
And real quick, what's your opinion on the Sniff, the Sneaky Ninja Pants Alpha Group? Are you
I've
part
got
of
nothing
that?
about for Sniff, for Sneaky, and that team over there. I sit as an advisor actually, and so does Meg Thorpe. So Meg's on my
Ooh.
team at Metaverse HQ, and we both advise for Sniff and constantly try to make connections. I think the ethos around it is incredible. Like that was a free airdrop, and um, all the proceeds go to charity. And not to mention, he auctioned off his own Azuki, and all of that went to charity. Sneaks has always been really big
Mm.
on donating, and I've had firsthand exposure into that. I know he's a really good fucking guy. He means well. He's also like the biggest DJ I know. And if he's bricked your floor, then welcome to the NFT space. That's just how it is. Not, that really just is how it is. I would be. I'm bullish, but I'm biased because I'm on the team. So that's a tough one.
I mean, if you look at most minted, most bought, and most sold, Sneaky made an appearance. He always does, but Sneaky made an appearance on every single one of them for the 6-hour chart, and that's very common for him to be in those categories.
It is.
So with the partnerships of the Sniffs, do those rival MVHQ yet, or is on par?
I mean,
Like the allow
it's
list
hard for
that.
me. Like, I don't want to flex our partners, but like everyone could take a look at who our partners are, and you could sort of make a guess of the type of caliber and of partners we do get. And we have amazing partners. We just want to continue to treat them right. We've been in the space since July, right? So it's not really a fair question because Sniff just started, and they might not have the foundation, the branding in place to be able to land some of the partnerships that we at Metaverse HQ do. It's my job though to make sure that we're creating win-win scenarios where, at the end of the day, I want to make sure our community gets the most that we can get, and forming these relationships and bonds and bridges, and helping lift up members, people that I believe in different places of the space. Like that's where I want to be. And hopefully Sniff will one day be, that like creme de crop spot for partnerships, especially with their whitelist marketplace that I think is going to be really popping, where you can come in and use a lot of like different ERC20 tokens to purchase whitelist spots. So that's an entirely different like value proposition. It allows people to come in from other ecosystems, and hopefully that will get the buzz going. And it's really helped like the Open DAO form a lot of relationships, get a lot of whitelist spots with different projects, because you're able to bring access to individuals from other ecosystems or token holders, etc., as opposed to like Metaverse HQ, where we have a private system that we give the allocation through.
This is kind of a random question, but do IRL events like really help you with your position, like making these partnerships like NFTLA or NFT New York or anything like that? Like, do you depend on that to make some more connections, or is that kind of different?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no. That's more like I like to IRL degen. I'm a big proponent in like getting degens together in one room and just staying in that room, putting Moby up, putting like whatever your favorite NFT tools up on the screen, and everyone just staying sharp and like keeping each other honest and keeping each other hungry. Um, Being at NFTLA was really dope. It's dope to always meet people, and like especially when you have events like that where a lot of people from NFTs are just coming to one place. Definitely want to have like a home base there for sure.
Cool, man. I love it. I like the LAN party style. It kind of reminds me of like back in the day when you get your friends together and play a Halo or something like that, and you all have your monitors set up. But
Yep,
it's like,
everyone's got their setup, their juju, they
yeah,
set it how they want, and
I
the
love
way that
that,
they
man.
work.
Does JJ have like 5 monitors he packs with him when he does that? I just
JJ
imagine.
JJ has he came out once, and it was in New York, and we actually gave him the monitor, so he was limited to one monitor,
Okay, okay.
but he did get the degen in real life with us for a couple of hours.
I'm surprised his Discord fit on one monitor with his fancy Discord. All right, let's dig into a project. Is there any of these that you would just kind of see and like you would want to dig into?
Like, do you have a degen for fun, like, cause you're bored, without
all
doing
the
any
time,
due diligence at all?
all the time to feel alive, Gutter. To feel alive. Spend ETH to feel alive. Let me see. Okay, so the pre-mint pass is a great. I think that's a great one to dig into.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that a few days ago before it kind of it went crazy. Now
Yeah,
I think it reached one, right? One Ethereum.
it went over one today, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Brandon's insane. So like Brandon Mulligan, who created he created this like pass. I mean, he's the one that he's created this like tool that allows you to streamline this process of like giving allow the spots away. And we've worked with him since the pass was 0.25. So there's a point in time where like you can have access to like creating unlimited pre-mint pages, which by the way, like I think we've made the most in Metaverse HQ. We bought this pass back in January, early Jan, where it was only 0.25, and like it just gave you unmitigated access to like creating these things. And so through that, we had exposure to Mulligan, to Brandon, who is the founder of Pre-Mint, and we continued to stay in touch with him, connect him with Sniff, connect him with other blue chip projects, if you will, for their Pre-Mint, sort of like doling that out for their like expansion collections. And so we've had an eye on what Brandon's been doing. We've been really impressed. This is just the beginning. I think he's got a mindset for like building the ecosystem of how this will all work. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Portal. That's a project that he's been working on. That's like really,
yeah.
really dope. It will help us incredibly so. Just help streamline all the pre-mints. I'm bullish, and shout out to Brandon, everyone in Metaverse HQ that wanted a pre-mint pass, that signed up for the pre-mint to mint the pre-mint collector pass, got in. Every single person in Metaverse HQ. I think he
Wow,
allocated like
nice.
300, almost 400 for us. So that was much love.
That was very nice.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I need
awesome,
to
dude.
get in Metaverse HQ, man. You guys are just caking over there, man. I gotta get one of
Literally,
those passes.
you know what I'm saying, bro?
Hmm?
Like this doesn't happen overnight. We've been chilling.
Mhm.
We've been in DMs with Brandon since January, right? So for 3 months, we're like giving
Mm,
him real time feedback, like, oh, you should do this, you should do this. We use it this way, so maybe think about this. And like, kudos to him. A lot of the times, he'll just be like, oh, good idea, good idea. Sometimes he'll be like, oh, that's a terrible idea, fuck off. And like, we know we're using Premium differently than everyone else in the space, right? We sort of streamlined this first, and so it's just about building that relationship, nurturing it, providing value, and asking really nothing in return, other than a better tool. Like we didn't know Collector Pass was gonna drop a lot of us didn't know it was going to rip to an ETH, and we just had Brandon in the other day. Ross Boss hosted him for an office hours in our Discord server, and yeah, people were very impressed by the collector pass. So I'm happy this worked out. This is a great example of something that cost, I don't know, 0.2 to 0.4 to mint. I don't know, somewhere around there. I think it was zero point 0.2.
0.25.
Yeah, 0.25. And now you've seen your investment increase, right? So
Yeah.
you got to ask yourself why. How is this different than a PFP collection, a JPEG collection? This provides real utility, right? You can go on the website,
Mhm.
you can log in with your NFT through your Web3 wallet, and you have access to like some edge alpha that no one else has access to. And that's real utility. This is an absolute utility play, and kudos to Brandon and Preeman for making this happen. It's really exciting.
Gutter, didn't you sell this to somebody over a Twitter space when it was at 0.4?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah, I did. Like,
Gutter was
because I knew the importance of
and,
pre-mint in
and, he,
this
and he
meta.
didn't buy
Like,
one.
it's nah. Well, then
Gutter
I had to
completely
I had to
sold
sell
somebody.
something at the time. I didn't have point 0.4 at the time. I could get it now, but nah. Do you think after the Moonbirds drop, do you think pre-mint passes is gonna go down? In your opinion?
No, I mean he's only giving away like what, 2 moonbirds or something. Like I don't think this
Yeah.
value is like because of moonbirds. I think this value is because people realize how important Preeman is,
Yeah.
or at least like how relevant it is in the space.
Right now, yes, it's the meta, and
And
it's the only one
I say
too.
that by the way, I don't hold any Preeman passes. I fucking paper handed
Oh,
mine.
really?
I mean, profit is profit, but like I don't own a Preeman pass, and I'm hyping them up because I know what Brandon's capable of.
Love it.
Yeah, I was hyping them up too. I don't have any. Yeah, I never got any. But yeah, there's plenty of tools out right now. Like there's also Me Six
Uh-oh.
bot tools that's also out there. The NFT it isn't doing as well as pre-mint because obviously pre-mint is a lot more useful for traders right now in
Well,
this
Me
meta.
Six didn't have good marketing, in my opinion. Right, the value
Yeah,
proposition is
they don't.
unclear. But if you look at the fine details, my boy Steve Leone, who runs MetaMint, we're friends in real life. He told me he like highlighted some alpha for me about the Me Sixes. Apparently, there's going to be like a token airdrop based off of like, I don't know, like that's like a V2. Like I would look into the Me Six thing heavily. It might be undervalued as fuck. And I'd say scoop the floor, don't mint because the floor is cheaper than the mint right now.
Where I guess
Yeah, I've been watching it. I'm trying to get
what's
in
the
as
actual what's it called?
Me Six,
It's a
MEW
11. It's
Six.
ERC 1155, by the way.
Yeah, they say
Yep,
it's just a placeholder. They're gonna airdrop the actual avatar. The avatars are not really special, but it's the utility
it's
Is
the
this it?
utility.
I'm
This is a
guessing.
pure utility play. Like I think if we looked into this right now, we would see like,
Is
oh,
this right?
there's a lot of upside here.
Yes, this is it.
There's only 30% sold.
Yeah, it didn't sell out.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
still
even know
minting
that.
right now.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
0.25 to mint. And again, for me, it's like marketing wise, they just didn't do a good job
not at all.
getting the word out there on what it is. They're like, I didn't even know they were like dropping until they're dropping. I'm like, oh, this is sort of boring. And also, they went ERC 1155. That's confusing. That's like they shouldn't have done that, right? They should have gone 721 right away. It makes no sense to be at 1155 right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't think they had knowledgeable people in their team to like
Yeah, it
guide
it
them
ta-
through the
it does talk
maze.
about the Me 6 token airdrops right here.
That's in
Hmm.
Q3, I think, or maybe Q4. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Did you
where
go
But
like
is
yeah,
that? I don't even know if you're
what's up?
supposed to, I don't know if you could put that on like a description, right? Like the the turtle DAOs were, I think it was Turtle DAO. They got taken down because they had like, hey, you're gonna earn token in the
Mm,
description.
yeah.
Me Six, whoever is like in charge should probably take that out right now. That's I that could get you removed from OpenSea for sure.
Do you think this is
I've seen
do
people
you,
get removed for less.
do you think this is a result of Web 2 coming to Web 3 and just not really like being familiar with the space?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yes. And I think too, this is a problem that I'm glad we're highlighting, right? A lot like Me6 is a known tool in the industry because a lot of Discord servers integrate Me6, and
Yes.
Discord is like the home of NFTs. So, in my opinion, this is a great use case where even a company that you might think would get it and be able to have a successful launch like this because they're just so close to everything, they still get it wrong because they aren't degens themselves. They don't have exposure. They don't understand the market, right? B, they didn't turn to outside advisors that really do. Like if they came to us, for instance, right, Metaverse HQ Launchpad, Meg would have told them, start 721. Don't go pre-reveal. Oh, sorry, I'm on a podcast, by the way. Don't go pre-reveal on an 1155 token because you want people to see secondary volume and action on Moby, on Icy Tools, on fucking Nifty
Mm.
Ripper, whatever tool, Conian, whatever you want you want to see volume, and a lot of these tools don't pick up 1155 volume and transactions.
Oh,
So
that's so
they already
true.
fucked up here.
Now that you point that out, I don't think Ninjalerts does either. So like, I don't think we would have even saw it being minted here.
Exactly. So
I,
me
I- am
six, if
I
you're
am I
watching
right on that,
this,
Gutter?
come to us next time, baby. Please change your
Yeah.
decision. That's not good.
Dude,
That
yeah, that's such a good
that will
point.
be taken down for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
but the thing about there are not yeah, the thing about it is that this is just the placeholder for the actual avatars that's gonna launch sometime this next few weeks. Maybe it's gonna be 10,000, but they recently just said they're gonna stop minting on the 17th, I believe. So they're most likely not gonna sell out. They're just gonna cut it after that point. So I'm guessing after that it might go back up, or I don't I don't know what's gonna happen with it. But the main thing I like about it is that you do get a 10 lifetime licenses to 10 different discords, or I mean whatever discord you're managing. So that is a very good utility. It's just the marketing sucks and their knowledge about the space really does suck.
That is
Because
kind
I've
of
been
cool.
to their AMA and I could tell they don't really know what they're doing.
How does this
Mm,
price compare to the regular cost, Gutter? Do you know the regular cost or
Point
what it
two
would be?
five.
No,
So mint
sorry,
right now is point.
not the NFT, but like if I were to like just buy a Me6 like
Oh,
membership
I
or
don't
whatever.
remember. I already have a lifetime license for
See, I
one,
don't. I'm
but
wondering if
this will
that
be 10.
and I run a Discord. I wonder if that'd justify me just going ahead and buying this instead of like paying for that, and I'll have this on top of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's not as much as point two
Oh
Ethereum.
yeah, it's not gonna be that, but like if it's half of that, why might as well just go buy
Yeah,
one.
why not? I mean, I think it's
Uh,
a good play. It's just not they're not very knowledgeable in the space. You can tell. The actual NFT they're gonna airdrop it to you, which is
yeah, that's weird. Mitch, you need to reach out to
yeah,
these people. Be like, hey, I can
costs a
make you
lot of
this.
money to airdrop.
yes it
Yeah.
Well, it
does.
used to.
Yes it
It
does.
used to. So, yeah, this is a incredibly inefficient way of doing a drop, and it's again, I think when you're a brand coming into the space, like a big brand, I can imagine it could be scary because you have brands that you think would do well, like they're well resourced and well positioned to do well, and they just like sort of fumble the bag, like Me6 did.
Is there redemption for
Yeah,
this, Mitch?
I mean yeah, in the future.
Um,
Once the utility kicks in, I think.
it's hard to say, right? I think if your goal for Me6, like it's different both ways, right? Me6, their goal was to sell out. If you are going to have any public sale, like the first thing we ask like our partners is, why do you need that money? Why do you need that ETH? What are you going to do? Right? Me6 probably intended, they probably calculated, I hope they did, where, hey, we intend to sell 10,000 of these at 0.25. We want the 2,500 Ethereum. We want that capital, 6 mil, 7 mil, to be able to build and scale and move our business into the next echelon. This is a big failure for them right now because they have not sold that 10K. So the plans they had made calculated at what they would have made if they sold out, they cannot do. They can only do a fifth of that. So as far as redemption is concerned, they need to get their token to 721 so it's visible. It could be traded more, volume increases, gets in the hands of more potential buyers and owners. Perhaps they open up the mint again on 721 for the remaining supply. But if they cap it here, that's a failure for them. they'll need more capital for whatever it is they're doing. Maybe they didn't need 6 mil. Maybe that was the buffer. Maybe they only needed 1 mil. And in that case, they should be good. As far as the investor is concerned, right now, your bag is beholden to how Me6 performs. And Me6 right now has shown that they don't understand NFT space. And I'd be weary to buy at this point until they can prove that, hey, they know what a sound investment in NFTs looks like, because they are one themselves.
Yep, super fair take. I agree.
Nice. Yeah, so you wouldn't hop into this at this price point.
I'm gonna wait till April 17th. There's no point in hopping in, right? Because what is
True.
that gonna do, right? You buy a 0.23 floor price now. The difference in mint price is only 0.02. So even if you're not really getting a big discount, and you're putting yourself at risk, because this floor price can go way lower in the next like X amount of days, and that could be a better entry point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep watching. Then I'll
Also,
pause on that one. I'm glad we talked to you on this show because I've been watching this actually because again they stopped the mint, so I'm guessing I know they're not experienced at all, but the utility I thought it's kind of worth it, especially if you're in Discord a lot. If you have a bunch of Discords you're in, like it's a very useful tool. But they don't know NFTs, so I'll just keep watching and see if it goes down. If it's below, if it's like at 1.15, it's an instant buy for me. But I'm just gonna keep watching it right now,
Yeah,
and I think
that's
Chris kind of
yeah,
disappeared.
let's keep watching it, bro. I'm down to enter this too. I mean, I do like the premise of a Me6 token airdrop. I
Mm.
love me some free stimmy money. So if this is like launch, then it's a fair launch. Game on. I love fair launches. Period. I think it's really smart to do airdrops based off holding NFTs.
Yeah, and they have some plan of making it like tools for NFT in your server, like other tools that you probably use other bots to do now. They're probably gonna integrate into Me6. Like you could launch your own token through Discord, and it's a whole plan they have that I just want to see if they actually go through with these plans. But I use Me6,
I,
so that's why
I
I'm
think
just
what Mitch
watching it.
said about the token itself, though, like not being launched as a 721 is huge. Because I mean, like, there's like no indicators for volume unless you're just like watching it on OpenSea. So I don't know. It's just like, I mean, like people like me, like I watch Ninjalerts a lot. If I don't see anything on there, I heard about Me6. I think JJ actually told us about it like weeks
Yeah,
ago.
JJ put us on.
And then I forgot about it, and there was nothing to remind me of it.
Mhm.
So I mean, there's just like no reason for me to like keep on going back and looking. So
I
I don't
think in
know.
this like at this stage of NFTs, like 1155, those shouldn't exist anymore. I think like our token, Metaverse HQ tokens 1155 currently, but again, we launched in July and we're migrating to 721. So if you're a new project releasing now, I just don't see the reason of an 1155. I really don't. And if you're saying it's like cheaper because of gas, you might be right, but like listen, gas is not what it used to be back then.
That's so true.
721A is like
Yeah.
open source. 721B now, right? Is like making it there's so much like our contracts got a lot more gas efficient, and you can no longer make the claim of an 1155 based off of saving gas because it's that value prop doesn't hold up anymore. So yeah, very not good of Me6 to be launching 1155 token. Golden Dow as well went 1155, and that was a terrible disaster for a lot of other
But
reasons.
I mean, isn't it for utility tokens when you have multiple editions though? Isn't 1155 kind of the best way to go for that?
No,
No,
721 is better. Poses less
really.
problems, less challenges. I could tell you in a lot of different ways why, but I'd hate to bore you.
Oh yeah, we are kind of running past. So before we end the show, like let's say just one last question. Let's say you're not part of MVHQ, you're back new to the space, but you already know everything you know now, and you have one Ethereum. That's all you have to start. What do you do?
That's such a great question. Well, there's some things that are free, right? Like having a Discord account, going on websites like Conian, like NFT Calendar, a bunch of other places that show upcoming projects, like different radar type websites. Like just educate yourself before you spend the 1 ETH. Like don't spend it. Like learn as much as you can, go in as many Discords, get a feel, get a vibe, and then spend maybe point 0.1, pick up like Moby or pick up like a month of Icy Tools and use that like 10%, 15% of your like buy-in at 1 ETH to educate yourself on the market. These tools are, I think, the best bang for your buck, um, only because you do have a lot of statistical analysis that you could do. If it's You can follow a lot of wallets as well. You can learn who to follow, what they're buying, and how those investments end up. You can actually see secondary market fairly well. You can catch mints early as they happen in real time with these tools, and they're incredibly cheap, right? So you can build that uh, the the
Knowledge.
the context. You can build um, your conviction in making a play, and then when you catch a mint and you spot it and it's about to mint out and you think it could be a rip, like don't be shy on the trigger. But again, I think it's just about educating yourself, using as much of that 1 ETH as possible to have access to information in real time that you could just digest and like let appropriate in a way that like is your frame. But you won't really know your frame until you're pulling the trigger, and you have to pull the trigger. You can't be afraid to pull it. You have to see that 1 ETH basically zero. That's the mentality you got to have, that it can be zero, and I'm okay with that. But I'm ready. I think when you're moving up, then like turning 1 ETH into 2 is a lot harder than turning like 100 ETH into 110 ETH, right? But you made a lot more with 100 ETH play. So I just want you to know that it's the frame. You have to know the plays to go all in, pick your spots, pick your battles. You have to be a lot more, choosy than someone in particularly like my position would be in. Um, I then say look on to move on to better tools, right? If you can afford more tools, then perhaps now is the time. If you're listing a lot, if you're like minting 20, 30, 40, 50 at a time and you need to list them right away, like a tool like WagMe might make sense. If you want to follow degens and get phone notifications every single time someone that you're following makes a play, Ninjalerts is a great example. Pick up one of
Yeah, that's us.
uh, NFT Nerds, another great example, right? I'm just plugging tools left and right on a show sponsored by Ninjalerts, but like
Ninja
NFT,
alerts.
it's like 1 ETH for like a year, but like you can make plays if you're now building that conviction, building your ETH stack. So there's a progression for sure, but like before anything, just please like understand the market, know who you're dealing against. Like you're dealing against people that are incredibly equipped, and not just with ETH, but with like these tools, and they can definitely like out finesse you if you're not careful.
Great advice, man.
Has your conviction ever betrayed you before? Like, have your gut
All,
feeling ever?
all the time, all the time, bro. Not just conviction in like my ETH plays, but conviction in partners sometimes, right? Like again, you never Star Wars is a great example. You never know what's not going to hit. Just Cubes is another great example. They didn't hit, but now they sold out and they're ripping. Plays like the play that I made with the Astro Boys, where I like lost 3 ETH the other day.
Astro
Roughly,
Boys.
right? Let's just say 3 ETH gone. I spent 3 ETH and it's gone. Like that was I just lost that. Like it's gone forever. I just have to be eyes forward and continue to make plays, not be afraid to continue to make them.
Wait, you didn't get the Hakuri or
Well, I
Hakuri?
did. Well, I did, but like, let's just assume, for all intents and purposes, that I like lost that 3 ETH. Like, I have to be eyes
Okay.
forward. You're gonna make mistakes. It's just about being more up than you are down, right? And at the end of the month, if I calculate my total earnings, um, total profit or total revenue less my L's, I'm up big time. So I'm not worried about that.
I have one more question. I
Nice.
know we were running way past. I'm sorry. I have
Please,
100 questions. I have
I'm
100
here to take
questions for
that.
you,
I'm
actually,
free for
Mitch.
like the next, 30, 40 minutes. You guys
Um,
called me at a really good time.
I appreciate you being here, and feel free to come back whenever. This is awesome. Um, I know this is different for everyone because everyone's in different financial situations in their life. But when do you feel like I guess in general is a time to take, like, do you ever take profits like fiat, like, take your ETH, convert it to USD and use it for your bills or your life or
Tornado
whatever?
cash.
Tornado, yeah, but like,
Mhm.
what would be like for people who are wanting to do this full time, like, is there a way to calculate that, or do you just kind of like fill it out? I know it's a very like ambiguous question because everybody has different life situations, but I think about that sometimes because like, not that I'm like anywhere near your level, but it's like, okay, well, this ETH could help me, pay off some bills or whatever, but or I could keep it in the market and hopefully keep on stacking it, again,
Yeah.
ambiguous, but what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts is like profit is profit, right? So just because you don't have like insanely high bills to pay and like you're not buying a home or anything doesn't mean you shouldn't swap to USD and like take profits. Um, I think again it depends on your bankroll and and where you're at. Even me, like I have a big stack of ETH and I have a big stack of like US dollar, and like my stack of NFTs, I'm pretty much liquid. Like I I only hold like I don't know 88 more World of Women Galaxies. Like my big NFT holds are that as well as my Azukis and like the beads and all that stuff. But the rest is in ETH, the rest is in US dollar, and I wouldn't be afraid to take profit. Period. I don't. It doesn't matter where you're at in life. It doesn't matter like how much like of a stack you're working with. Profit is profit, and you should always be like you should save some for a rainy day. You should save some just because it's the right thing to do. The way that we see investments is like all this go to zero like tomorrow, right? Like ETH could go to zero tomorrow, NFTs go to zero tomorrow, everything could go to zero tomorrow. Like the only thing that won't go to zero is the US dollar because like that still is like the widely accepted currency of the world, especially where my world here in Brooklyn. So that's my advice. But as far as progression is concerned, you're gonna have it's different than where I am now. Back then in August, I was fucking like one ETH was like the world, right? When I lost one ETH on the sevens through gas errors, I was devastated. I took a big blow there. That's like holy fuck, 25% of my bankroll just gone. Like what do I do now? You have to pick and choose your battles, pick your spots, keep raking, keep climbing, keep stacking, and have your conviction holds too. And like you know, old Mitch is now like a blue chip maxi with his four Zukis, but like I never used to hold blue chips, and now I see investments long term, and that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't see investment short term. I'm not afraid to take profit.
Do you think, this is the last one, this is actually probably a good conclusion question. Do you think, and this is a piggybacking off of Gutters, if you had one ETH now, you can make similar moves as you did from August until now, from now until August, or now until like December? Or do you think you just caught right things at the right time? If you had your knowledge that you have now, um, as encouragement or discouragement, I guess, for people coming into it that have one ETH and want to like, be in your position one day? Like, do you think it was just timing, or do you think with the skills and knowledge you have now and one ETH, you can make it happen again?
Yeah, I think with one ETH, I could make it happen, and I almost feel like I want to put my money where my mouth is now and like try this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with the, I think we have a fundamental sort of like idea that every day is a multiplier and a moneymaker in NFTs, and I think that's the wrong way to look at it. About it, I think at any moment there can be a multiplier, and it's simply about sorry about that, and it's simply about being cognizant all the time of where the play is, right? So if you do have a multiplier in front of you, don't be afraid to spend. That being said, a multiplier might not come for days, weeks, months at a time, or you might not see it, right? You might have missed it. And like if you use one ETH to mint, I don't know, like 15, 10 quirkies, your one ETH just became, and if you diamond handed it, that one ETH just became 40 ETH. There are multipliers that exist in the space. They're very hard to catch. There are public sales that you could hit with one ETH that may fly under the radar. Um, I think it's just about staying patient, staying vigilant, and like keeping eyes on the market. and not doing the whitelist grinding stuff. But again, that's just me. That's my frame. I'm a degen, so I don't like grinding for shit. I'd rather like, I don't know. Again, jump in with the rest of them and play in my frame. That's my frame. I know. You just have to go and build yours.
Love it. Got anything
Yeah,
else?
so yeah, that wasn't the last question, man. So if you zoom out a little bit, would you, in your opinion, would you think a recession will probably be on the way? And if there is, how do you brace yourself in the NFT space for a recession or a big downturn?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think downturns are. I mean, I can only talk about what has happened thus far. There was a downturn. There was a time where like, oh no, there's an NFT project dropping like not once a week anymore, but like once every other day. This is too much. Like we can't sustain this. This was like when Wicked Craniums was like minting and shit, and like Moon Boys, right? Not Moon Boys, like Alien Boys, and like that time,
Yeah, I
like
remember those days.
like Misfits, dare I say, Misfit University,
Oh
right?
my
Like
God.
that trash. Like we were all like fucking fatigued. We were like, Fame Lady Squad. We don't know. As 3 Russian devs, we
Oh,
got trust.
I still own Fame Lady Squad, so no slander on Fame Lady Squad, please.
Yeah, let me keep fun of your backs. But there was a time, like, right? We've seen the cycle, Scudder, and
Yes.
so I think with any downturn, because we do see downturn cycles like before NFT NYC coming into NFT NYC, like that time frame of like November, it was like a little bit of a downturn in the NFT market. There was just a little bit of a downturn recently, right? That we were feeling because of fucking Pixelbot. We felt the downturn because of the Mutant Ape like sale. That was a massive liquidity
Yeah.
suck, 2.95 ETH to mint. And no one was expecting it and ready for it. Everyone liquidated across the board just to get in there. And so you're going to have your downturn markets, but the downturns where you make your stack. Like downturn at NFT NYC, I minted 30 Smiles NFTs because and
Ooh.
these didn't go quickly, right? I was yelling at everyone at the NFT party I was at, like, yo, you guys should be minting these. Like, they're a fucking cook. Everyone's like, no, it's a bear market, like, whatever. Like, it's only 0.1. I had friends ask me, like, do you believe in Smiles? Yeah, yeah. And I had my own conviction. I was like, I'm minting this. Smiles then turned out to hit like a 2 ETH floor. I wish I held that long. I did hold pretty long though. Like, so I came out ripping right out the gate. And Smiles is like Wahid and Geo. Shout to them. I always shout them out. They fucking killed it. The entire Smiles team, amazing. The devs on the Smiles team. Meg and I actually met in Art Battles in Miami. They're fucking crisp as well. They're rocking cool cat tees. But like, my point is, during that down market, there's still really good investments. Doodles defied the laws of a fucking bear market. Like, they just
Yeah,
kept
it
going
did.
up while everyone else was going down, right? We couldn't believe it. So there are plays to make during downturns. As far as like a massive, like, gutter, like an end all be all apocalyptic, like nightmare, again, just be ready for it. Always assume everything's going to go to zero. So what do you do when you're assuming everything goes to zero? You take profit and you secure those profits. So like, again, we're not all sleeping, underneath an actual gutter. We're, part of the gang.
Yeah, so yeah, last one for real this time. Are you bullish on the Apes metaverse that's coming up? Or do you think that's gonna cause another downturn?
That's a really good question. I think that if what we're hearing is true, that's a lot of liquidity that's going to be sucked out of the market. It's going to take some time to like have that liquidity be restored. Perhaps there is a situation in which Coinbase launches their marketplace coinciding with this land sale where a lot of people will now have access to this land sale. I don't know. I pure speculation. I know that right now the sentiment, and I hate to propel this sentiment, right, by actually speaking it into existence, but like people are holding ETH and Ape and whatever, they're holding their stack for this BAYC land sale that's coming up, don't know when, and Moonbirds, which is going to suck 25,000 Ethereum of liquidity out of the market.
Mm.
I have to ask, what do you want 25,000 for, right? I have my own opinions about that, but that's like what everyone's bracing for impact. Um, I don't know if BAYC is for real. I mean, they built a video game, but it wasn't them that built it. They outsourced it to the Arcade.Inc. company that had their own land sale, and they're building their own video game, right? So it's like, I don't know what this metaverse is going to look like. I just know they have a lot of money behind it. And just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you're going to build like the most amazing thing. I think if you're going to build a play and earn game, a metaverse in the space, you should do it iteratively. You should release it and like let it be playable and do it iteratively. Build on top of that. Something like what Crypto Raiders has been doing for quite some time. I think they're fucking geniuses.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see, man. BAYC has not missed yet. So
Not one time. Not one time. I
haven't
thought the
missed.
mutants would be that one time, but no. It was
Hey,
not.
bro. Dude, I came into NFT NYC like fading mutants. I was like, oh, mutants are like I had 3 of them, right? And I think I
Oh my
sold
god.
like and I only took like an ETH profit or something. Like that's on the blockchain. Maybe
Oh man.
I don't know. Like I just was not bullish on them at all. And then NFT NYC gave them life because everyone was like meeting in person, like, oh fuck yeah, like BYC. And like I didn't know yet, like we didn't have context into what an in real life experience or set of experiences can do for a collection of individuals, and for the collection NFT collections that they hold. That was the first use case. So that's why I was bullish on Azuki, right? Azuki's party, everyone's talking about in LA. It's the only thing anyone wants to get into.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, this is what's happened. This is what happened to Bored Apes in New York. I'm going to double down. And so, yeah, we were rewarded for doing that. Like, it's just a matter of having context and then making a play.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm not. I have more, but we'll just end it here because we're like
I can always come
32
back.
minutes over.
Yeah, man, definitely.
It's been fun kicking it with y'all for sure.
Definitely come back and hang out with us. And we are doing the Twitter Spaces on Thursdays. If you ever wanted to stop by those too, we're kind of inviting all of our guests, just an open invite. If you just want to come hang out, we actually got to remind Jacob as well about it. He might be there. But yeah, man, definitely come back. Like Gutter said, we have a ton of questions. This is what we do on the show. You know, like it's NFT Traders Club. Obviously brought to you by Ninjalerts. You know, we're trying to be better. Gutter and myself are trying to be better traders. So like, what better way to do it than bring people who have made it? You know, and
Smart traders.
Trevor has always spoken really highly over the Metaverse HQ guys, and I see why. I'm starting to understand why. And yeah, like I've loved.
Oh yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got a round of applause on here.
I've really enjoyed, getting to meet you guys and pick your brain a little bit. And, each of you have offered different strategies and information that was very helpful to me and the viewers, JJ and Jacob as well. Shout out to them. So, yeah, Mitch, thank you for being here, man. Thank you, everybody who's watched over Twitter and YouTube. Any last things you want to say, Mitch or Gutter?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, fellas. It was really great to be here and shoot the shit. Y'all are asking really good questions, and I wanted to make sure we're sort of curtailing our strategies and what we're discussing. That advice, to newcomers in the space. We don't want them to get smoked. We want you guys to have like really good experiences, and learn the market. Right, have fun with us. I would like to add too at Metaverse HQ. I know we are priced out for like the average. Maybe like the newcomer coming into the space, which is unfortunate. Even some of y'all tuned in that have been in the space for a while, and there are ways to find alpha as long as you're just. Here's the thing: if you learn how to be the best NFT trader, it doesn't necessarily mean you're relying on alpha communities. You can build that conviction yourself. You can make plays yourself. You can find teams. You can work in squads, work with friends. Gather resources, information. Like nothing we do at Metaverse HQ specifically, I would say is like, I don't know, like patentable. We have an incredible community of people that love trading NFTs, and we have a voice chat that's 24/7, all that stuff. But you can find the resources to be an independent trader on your own. That's a lot easier when you're with an alpha group, of course, because those resources are sort of provided to you. You're sort of handheld in that sense. So I would just like to say you don't need to join Alpha Group, but if you are like, if you build the skill set to learn how to trade NFTs, that will go with you anywhere you go. And I think that should be first and foremost what people should be focused on, especially coming into the space.
Yeah, well said. Any chance of a Mitch project in the future?
If it's going to be any project, it's going to be through with Metaverse HQ. That is my fucking home, and
Of
I'm going to be
course.
HQ basically like till I die. So we'll see. There will never be like a Mitch spinoff, at least in my
No, not that. I mean like a generative Mitch project that you
Oh shit,
back,
like a
that you
generative
create.
neat project. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think my ego is already too big. I, I don't think we need to exert that into the NFT space.
I didn't mean images of you. Just
Oh no,
you could have, Mitch could create ducks or some shit. I
you just gave me a
didn't.
brilliant idea, bro. I'm very excited about this. So maybe we might
That's
have.
funny.
Well, I mean, if you do, I'll buy,
Whitelist.
man.
You know what? If Chris gives me a video of him squatting, maybe I'll put him on the whitelist.
Deal.
I need that video too, man. Cause he was telling me, oh, he was sore and everything, man. He had a whole story. I need that video too, man. Cause he took a video.
That's crazy. Can we end this session with Chris playing the video of him squatting for that whitelist? I'd love to see that.
He won't give us the image. He won't give us the video.
We don't have it.
No, we don't have it. But it
Simple
does
as that, man.
exist, though.
What's
it does
done is
exist.
done.
I'm gonna have to find it.
In a Discord that shut down. I don't know. Hopefully not. But yeah, fellas,
cool glasses, man. You should have had that on the whole time.
Thank
Shit
you.
is
Thank
dope.
you. Yeah, I'm about to go walk my dog. But shout out to Trevor, shout out to Ninjalerts, shout out to you guys. Thanks for hosting me. It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
definitely.
Oh, you could talk over the applause, Chris. You'd have to wait.
Y'all calm down. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, thank you, Ninjalerts, for allowing us the platform and opportunity to have these shows and have these traders on. And we will see you guys next time. Peace out.